All right, hey guys. So this is my second session with on my new path of being a healthy person, and I have Ryan on the line. Hi, Ryan. How are you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Yeah, same. So I just wanted before we jump into the first step, which is all about how to get into the right mindset. Uh, you don't need to move the camera so much as you just.
Okay.
So, before we jump into that, I want to touch on something because I asked my friends on Facebook what was the main reason why they are not as healthy as they want to be, if that was the case. And the majority of people, they said time. Some said also self-discipline, but mostly people said time. I don't have the time to be healthy, which is kind of crazy, I
That
guess, in itself.
that, that seems to be everybody's excuse, man.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what it is. It's an excuse, right? But
Absolutely. It's fabricated out of who knows where, but
right,
um, the majority of the people I talk to as well, that seems to be the one thing. They've got a job and they've got family and kids, and um, it really doesn't take as much time as people think.
right.
Um,
And I think
so
we I think we should totally dedicate. That's also my mission with this. I want this to be a step-by-step program. I want people to implement one small change at a time, right? Just like I'll be
Sure.
doing myself. That's why I'm putting myself on the line and doing this. We're not just talking about it. I'm actually doing it myself so I can lead by example. So we can obviously talk a lot about stuff, but what
Mhm.
I actually implement should just be small, simple steps so that it will be like you'll be gradually healthy, right? So it's not like
Absolutely.
now you need to change everything and you need to invest 5 hours a day that you don't have, right? So it needs to be basically that we lead people into being healthy, and
For
that's
sure.
that's that's what I want people to do, and that's what people will do if they sign up for the $1 trial if they not already have.
Yeah.
So talk to me a bit about time
Sure.
and you know what are your
Absolutely.
thoughts?
So I guess we'll kind of, I'll go through some tips that I use personally, and that I give to my clients. Um, the one thing that has been a huge time saver is cook in bulk. Most people have the weekends off. Take an hour or two on Sunday to cook, you know, a massive load of your favorite vegetables. Or salads take no time to make. Make a massive salad, put it in the fridge every day. Just take a bit out, a couple handfuls, throw it in a bowl, toss some dressing on it. You're good to go. Same thing goes for meat, or um, throw the oven on, throw a couple racks of chicken in the oven, and go do what you need to do. You don't even have to stand by it, or while the chicken's cooking, prepare some vegetables or some rice or whatever it is that you're eating. Um, that's an hour or two once a week that you can literally prepare 5 to 7 days of meals
Right.
out of. Make If you're cooking dinner, make a much larger portion than you normally would, so that you can have lunch the next day ready. You're already cooking, so just add a little extra food, and there you go. You've got lunch for the next day.
Right.
Just simple things. Exercise. Like I said, if you really are to the point where you have no time, which I think is totally unbelievable. um, park at the back of the parking lot when you go to the mall, or when you go get groceries, just to have that extra, little bit of exercise. Take the stairs at work.
That's
You
great
know,
advice.
if you can dedicate 30 minutes 3 times a week to exercise, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's going to the gym, doing yoga, whatever it is, 30 minutes 3 times a week is really not that unrealistic. Let me ask you a question. How much time do you spend just, wasting time on social media, or lying down watching TV in a day?
Right.
Most people spend way more time doing that than they're dedicating to
Right.
exercise. And I think it just comes down to prioritizing. If you're really looking to get healthy, you need to start prioritizing the things that are going to put you in the right direction. So prioritize and just make it happen. In all reality, your excuses are just, you're just scared to commit, or there's fears holding you back. So you just need to commit and make little changes like we've been talking about. It's really not as hard as most people think. I think the problem lies in not being educated enough to make the proper choices. I don't think it's really as hard as most people think. And I think after people speak, or they sign up for our trial, they'll realize that if you can do it and I can do it, anybody can do it, right? And it's all about just believing in yourself and prioritizing the things that are going to make it happen. So
right.
It's just, I think the biggest takeaways for doing this is, cook in large batches and freeze food if you need to. Just use the oven. You can cook a ton of food, a ton of vegetables in the oven in no time, and you don't really have to sit there and watch it. So you can do your laundry while you're cooking a large batch of food. Make yourself like a fruit and nut trail mix. Using whole foods. Don't buy the prepackaged stuff full of sugar. Just pick up a large batch of various nuts and dried fruits with no sugar added, and just carry that with you. So if you're in a pinch and you have no food ready, at least you have a healthy snack you can snack on. Find the restaurants near you that offer healthy meals that you can just go to and rely on when you don't feel like cooking. So I think those are some pretty good things people can start to implement right away. That'll help save time.
And to talk about what I should do practically, in our first session I committed to doing my bike ride. I actually haven't been out yet today. It's right now it's almost 3 p.m. But I'll get to it. Now you're motivating me. So how do I make up the 30 minutes that it takes for me to do the bike ride? I guess I can just take off 30 minutes of television, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or 30 minutes of watching TV, or like I said, just scrolling through Facebook.
Yeah.
I know you're in the process of building a business, so that 30 minutes can be a powerful tool to recharge and recharge the battery so you're fresh and ready to put more work in.
And it's a great investment too, right? Because
Absolutely.
I guess if I do invest the 30 minutes in my bike ride, I will have more energy, which makes me more productive, so I might get more done in less time.
Exactly.
So it's like a spiral, right? I'm talking
sure.
myself into it now. I feel that's
good.
That's a good thing.
That's kind of
and the funny thing about
our next subject of mindset.
Yeah, exactly. But the funny thing about that bike ride is I feel so amazing after I do it, and it's so hard to just get out there. And yeah, as you say, let's use that as a segue into the next topic, which is mindset, which is what we promised to cover. And how you already talked a lot about this, but what is like the main thing to get into the mindset of choosing to be healthy? I want this to be, I don't want this to be like a you need to change your life kind of course, right? I want people to gradually get into it and all of a sudden you're healthy, right? Because that's what I want to do myself. I just committed to it. People can now just jump on board and live off my commitment, basically. So if they keep following along, we will eventually make people healthy, right? So,
sure.
But still, you need some sort of mindset. What is your thoughts on that?
All right. So I think the main thing is to look at your beliefs. Kind of touching on the last topic there. People believe that they don't have enough time. But, beliefs are basically just things that we create in our own mind. So, become aware of what these thoughts that you're having, and then you'll be able to make changes. So, you need to believe that you can actually get healthy or lose weight or whatever your goal is. Believe it. Instill that in, like we mentioned about journaling. Write those things down. Affirmations are powerful things. repeat to yourself, I can get healthy, or I can lose 20 pounds, or, I'm going to make this happen. And like I said, it doesn't have to be crazy. You don't have to be some meditative Buddha monk. Just become more aware of the things that you're thinking on a daily basis. And once you actually commit, it's going to be a lot easier to keep yourself on track as well. So if people kind of just jump onto the wagon and start doing this thing without actually changing their beliefs, then they're going to have a really tough time actually following through on the plan. So
right.
I think becoming more aware of the things you're thinking, that these things come from your childhood, or just the things you do on a daily basis. If you're around negative people all the time, or people that are out of weight that are living unhealthy lifestyles, it's going to be a lot more challenging for you to make the leap. So surround yourself with people that are kind of that you want to be like, or that you respect, and that's kind of why we mentioned having a coach is such a great idea, because that's your coach should be a living example of what you're trying to accomplish, so you can feed off that energy and their positivity and their knowledge of health.
Right.
Start to read books that are going to help you become more positive and a better person. A lot of people talk about increasing your vibrational frequency, which is just positivity in general, keeping your mind on the right track. So anything that you can do to keep yourself positive and motivated going into this is going to be huge. And I know you've got a pretty solid mindset. This is something you have become pretty passionate about after dealing with mental health issues. So what do you think? What is the most important thing when it comes to keeping your mindset in the right place and on track with your goals and in line with your visions?
Well, everything you said basically, and I think the one thing is to start surrounding yourself with people. And it's not like then you can come up with an excuse like, I don't know any healthy people, but that's not the case. You're listening to us right now. I'm not healthy, but Ryan is, and I will be healthy because I committed to it. So hang around with us, stay with us, and we will take you there. So it's a matter of committing. That's a simple commitment. Just start watching these videos and hang around in the membership area, and you'll start meeting other people because there'll be a discussion forum there. That's one thing. That's one simple way of doing it. Another way is to, as you say, start reading books, start listening to podcasts. Just start dedicating your life to studying the most successful people around, because this is not just eating healthy, and healthy is an all-round holistic thing. It's also how you feel about yourself. What is it you put out into the world? You're talking about putting positive stuff out into the world. Well, that's healthy too. If you can spend as much time as possible being happy, and you'll be healthy too, right? That's
Absolutely.
also a way of being healthy. So the number one thing is start studying, and then the commitment will come at itself, because it's simply impossible not to choose to follow amazing example. If you start studying amazing people, it's impossible not to get higher standards for what you want in your life. And it's so simple. Start reading. But I don't have time to read. Well, you don't have time not to read. To be honest,
take 10 minutes before bed, or 20 minutes before bed even.
Right.
It'll help you relax, and you'll get a deeper sleep.
Podcast. I don't have money to buy books. Okay, start listening to podcasts. It's free, and do it on your iPhone. You can speed up. I don't know if that's only for the audiobooks, but you can speed up so you can listen to an audiobook twice as fast. So you can read a book in like an hour and a half.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's totally the best thing you can do. Start studying, start reading, people are interested in people who know stuff, and you will know stuff if you start studying people. Otherwise you'll just go through life as a average person, mediocrity, right? As Robin Sharma talks about. Robin Sharma is actually how Ryan and I met. He's like a big time success coach, and we both bought a course of his and found each other through his Facebook group.
Yeah, that's it. Just, commit to doing things that are going to better you. And one thing that I want to mention here is, a lot of the time I don't even know that I'm helping someone out. Just, you give off positive vibes and, happiness and healthiness, and people feed off that. A lot of the times I'll be at work and I'll pull out my lunch and someone just starts asking me, oh, what are you eating? And then we get sparked into this conversation about health, and it's amazing what just improving your own health is going to do to all those around you. So you're not just helping yourself, you're helping everybody around you, your family, your friends. It's pretty powerful. So just commit, do it. Change those beliefs. Don't be scared to fail. It's not going to be easy, but be willing to accept the challenge and make it happen. You'll be a stronger, better person for it. So just change the mindset. And that's the one thing that separates humans from everything else is, we have that ability to change our mind, all of our thoughts. Become aware of those thoughts that you're having and make them change it. Instead of being, that people talk about fixed mindset versus growth mindset. Get out of that fixed mindset, change into a growth mindset where you're willing to accept the challenges and, always learning and willing to become a better person. So
right. And we both of us can recommend a book we both read, which is called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
Absolutely, man. That's what got me started and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? So where were you before? Have you been unhealthy as well, Ryan?
I was, and I guess we probably could have started with that in our first conversation, but the last, I'd say, like when early 20s, I suffered from a pretty severe GI infection, and then I took several course of antibiotics. I lost 15 pounds just from losing fluids and diarrhea and vomiting and
wow,
the works. I couldn't even go to work. I couldn't get off the couch. I just was so tired. So I just kept trying several courses of antibiotics, and finally it killed the infection. But then my life and my health kind of just took a spiral over the next couple of years. My fatigue just kept increasing. I started getting constipation and bloating, and my mind, my memory, my concentration, everything started to become affected. And my doctor was really no help. I kept going back, but my blood work was normal. Eventually, I lost pretty much my libido was of like a 90-year-old man. It wasn't fun, and this went on for years. And then, I finally just took things in my own hand. I had enough is enough, and started researching, holistic and alternative medicine, and that's kind of how I jumped on the bandwagon of functional diagnostic nutrition, and started to reclaim my health back. And if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. So I changed my eating habits, and just became very aware of what I was eating and how I was feeling and what foods were affecting me. And I ended up working on a native reserve as a paramedic, and it was a fly-in only community. It was just way up north. It was snowing like 9 months a year. It was just super cold, and I almost went through like a little depression. And then one of the nurses up there gave me The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, and it was life changing. It was amazing what just a single book can do to your mind.
Right.
My outlook and everything just totally changed. And I think that was the stepping point. How we talk about health just isn't food and exercise. Mind is I'm gonna say even more powerful than everything. And when you have that combination, it's just a truly powerful thing. So thankfully I've come a long way. I've still got a little ways to go, but it took 4 or 5 years for my health to degrade, so it's going to take more than 6-8 months to get it fully back. But I'm much more energized and feeling pretty damn good compared to where I was. So it's pretty amazing what you can do when you put your mind to it. So
yeah. And that was because you were suffering, right? And that actually leads me into another book I can recommend called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. You know that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that upstairs. That's going to be one of my next books I read.
Oh, totally transforming book. But he talks about the pain body and how you need to suffer. And he basically says says if you can't commit to something, it's because you haven't suffered enough.
Yeah, that's true.
And
you gotta be ready.
Exactly. So if you're not ready to be healthy, well, then you need to be more unhealthy before you can commit to it. You need to be, if you're not ready to lose weight, then you need to gain another 20 pounds before you're ready to, you know how it works. But that's the point. You don't need to suffer. You don't need to suffer. You can, but it just takes willpower to make that decision and that commitment when you haven't suffered enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that
For
was
sure.
totally the same with my mental illness. You know, that was led by because I was chasing the money in my business, and I wasn't happy in what I did. So even though I needed to come up with money, I found a solution that was a bad solution, which led me into even more debt. And so I needed to suffer even more. I needed to suffer to the extent where I would develop a mental illness and get actually admitted into psychiatric department, which is kind of totally crazy now because it feels like it's a different person, right? But I needed to suffer that much before I could see clearly, basically.
Yeah,
But
and
you don't need to. You don't need to suffer. You just need to tap into your willpower then. So, but you have the choice. Do you want to suffer, or do you want to tap into your willpower? I just had a friend who called me up and was kind of depressed and stuff, and I was just totally blank with him and said, how long do you want to be depressed, right? Because that's the only way you can change it. Is obviously you can take pills and stuff, but the only way to change it is to decide I had enough. I don't want to be depressed anymore.
Absolutely.
That's the only way.
Make those required changes you need to.
Right.
And yeah, it's, while we're kind of on this topic of suffering and whatnot, it's almost like, you've got to go through it before you can help other people. So,
right.
I feel like I got sick so I could fix myself and now, give back to those people who are in the same position or suffering similarly.
Right.
So
now you want to serve the world, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
So
you need to experience shit to be grateful about the good thing, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So just on this whole mindset, we'll just kind of summarize it. So like we mentioned, get great information or information that's going to help you get to where you want to be. Read great books, surround yourself with those people, role model those people. Find role models that are doing what you want to do or are in the health that you want to have, and then examine those beliefs that you have about yourself. What are your limiting beliefs? What's holding you back? What are you scared of? Become aware of this and make the required changes. And then, change those limiting beliefs into growth beliefs. So, I'm not good enough. Change that into I am good enough. I can do it. Just it's something so simple, but most people just overlook it and think I'm crazy when I talk about the power of the mind, or
right.
They think I'm some monk or some Buddhist crazy person, but
yeah,
the mind is so powerful.
Yeah,
and you need to use that to your advantage. So change those beliefs and then continue to develop them. Don't just stop once you think you've changed your beliefs. Continue to grow, continue to work on yourself, and keep your mindset as strong as possible, because times are going to get tough. It's not going to be a straight road to health. You're going to have obstacles. You're going to have people doubting you, and feed off this and become a better person for it. So
right. Take control of your mind, right? Because that's also what he talks about in The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. That's when you can basically excel at life, when you can take control of your mind. Many of us lives on autopilot, and basically just we do whatever with our thoughts are just grinding every day. But you can change that mind, and if you don't believe me, try put on a beautiful piece of music. That's what he talks about in The Secret, which it's not like a movie I by any chance recommend, because it's kind of American. But he says put on a beautiful piece of music. If you put on it's impossible not to get affected by music. So that's proof that you can change your mind. If you're feeling terrible, put on beautiful music and listen to it. You'll instantly change. Put on dancing music and you'll feel like dancing. That's impossible. You can do that at the same time. You can grab your thoughts, basically. When you realize, when you differentiate yourself from your thoughts by saying, oh, that was a negative thought, let me move focus over to something. This is what I don't want. What do I then want? That's you can basically have a dialogue with your mind there, right?
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah.
So we I guess we will go into some goal setting stuff now.
Well, let's. I want to cut this video off so that it'll be there's a video on this mindset stuff now, and then we'll cut off this video and we'll make another video. But let's just make it right after this one. But it will obviously be all in the membership area. And another thing, if you don't know what to read or where to start with that, I've made I haven't made it yet, but once you're listening to this and you sign up into the membership area, there'll be a video about which kind of podcast I listen to, and it's totally free. Podcast is a free resource, and there's amazing people making great content. A lot of the stuff I'll recommend is entrepreneurial, but that's not necessarily bad, even though you don't want to be an entrepreneur, because that's who the great people are, right? That's the people who are.
That's just about to say those are the people with the strongest mindsets, and,
right?
You know, they face more than enough challenges daily to have that, you know, the advice to give to overcome challenges and change your mind and your beliefs and just become the person you want to be. So
right,
definitely a great resource.
That makes me think of Jim Carrey. I just watched this commencement speak with him, and he had something profound about. He said his father taught him so much, but he could have been a great comedian. But he said he was scared to do so because he wanted to take a safe job. So he went on to be an accountant, and he basically at some point got fired, and the family had to struggle to make money. And then the father taught Jim Carrey that you can fail at what you don't want to do. So why not chase what you do want to do, or do what you love to do, right? Because if you can fail at what you don't want to do, well, why not focus on what you want to do, right?
Absolutely. That's great.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so let's wrap up this mindset video. It'll be and
if you guys have any questions, just put in the members forum and one of us will get on it.
Yeah. All you need to do is sign up for the $1 trial, and that's like stealing. To buy that, you'll get, I think I'm going to choose to set it up with 3 days access, so you have 3 days to test everything out, and then it'll be like a $47 a month commitment to stay on board, and it's just a matter, if you like listening to us, you just keep hanging around, and if you don't like it after the $1 trial, just get out of here.
Yeah, nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose, besides $1. So that makes it for this video, and we will obviously continue to put in more and more stuff in the members area. This is like an ongoing process. That's why I wanted to make a membership area and not like a course. I want this to be a journey. I want to take you by the hand all the way until you're totally healthy. And once you're totally healthy, you still want to learn. You still want to you still want to find new ways to do it even better. So that's why I want this to be a continuous process, which is why I made it a membership area. So invest $1 in your health and get more from Ryan and myself.
Sounds good.
All right, so Ryan, we'll wrap this up, and just stay on the line, and we'll make the next video.
Perfect.
Take care.